Who is Keilidh Cashell?
Wow, that is a loaded question.
One of Ireland's top makeup artists and beauty influencers. Founder of the cosmetic brand Kash Beauty.
That came from years of working online in the industry. I actually done a collaboration with Morphe, which was like ridiculous. Also stepping back and being like, I don't know everything. And that's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give to anyone in business is...
So you don't deal with any side of that?
If I did, the business would be in the ground. Probably a massive thing I don't think people realise is how much work especially goes into creating product.
I feel like everybody's assumed that someone has a business, they have a load of money stashed up behind them.
I'm like, do you want to tell me where it is? Where is it? Where's all this money I need to have? Instead of looking at something and be like, why aren't we doing that because I can't do that properly? But instead of thinking I can't do that properly, it's like, well, let's start working towards it.
Before we start the episode, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out to listen to these episodes. If you could take 2 seconds out of your day and hit the subscribe button, the bell, and give us a follow on whatever platform you're listening on so we can keep growing the podcast. Now let's get to the episode. Thanks so much for coming on, Keilidh.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you on, taking the time out of your day to come over.
No, not at all. Thank you so much for having me.
So for anyone listening, and I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but who is Keilidh Cashell?
Wow, that is a loaded question. I don't even know how to describe myself anymore because I feel like there's so many different things. I'm a makeup artist, firstly. That's what I always say. Qualified makeup artist. I started posting my work online, kind of fell into the content creator, influencer world, and now I have my own makeup brand as well.
Unreal, yeah.
So I wear a lot of different hats.
Yeah, that's what you were saying earlier on. There's like 3 versions of Keilidh.
Yeah,
so what
3 versions of Keilidh. So there's the Kash Beauty Keilidh, there's the Keilidh MUA, and then there's Keilidh. So it's like 3 different...
Like probably your a personal Keilidh, like what you'd be like
personal
at home kind of thing.
Yeah. I always feel like I've got 3 different personalities almost, but they kind of meld into one, you know, and kind of make up. Each of them kind of helps each other. That's how I would describe it.
Yeah, that's good. Throw your... pajamas, comfortable person of Keilidh when you're at home, yeah.
Oh, if you see me filming, it's just a nice top and it's just pajama bottoms, like 100% bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't see nothing. That's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, how did you get into makeup? Like, how did it all start?
It's funny because I was actually like quite a big tomboy whenever I was younger. Like I would have been running around the fields, mad into horse riding and stuff like that. But I think I got into makeup probably around the same time all of us do. You know, whenever you're a teenager, you start going out, you want to look good, even though we look terrible with our dream matte mousse, God love us. Yeah, absolutely crawling off our skin. But I can remember, you know, those little pictures that would be online, and it was like a 3-step smoky eye, and it would almost like show you like these little pictures. I copied that one night and everyone was telling me I look great at my eyes. Now I probably look like I'd been punched in the face, but it
probably not blended or all.
No, not blended at all. But that was the thing though. It was, I remember someone saying to me, oh, that looks nice or whatever, and I was like, maybe I'm good at this. So I started doing it more and more, and it came to the final year in school and it was like, of course, what are you doing with your life? I haven't got a breeze. And I was like, oh well, I love art, I love makeup, I love movies, you know, like the makeup they would wear in movies is really dramatic, like crazy. I always say like Pirates of the Caribbean, I always loved it. I remember hearing a story that they would come into set like 6 hours beforehand and have to sit in makeup for 6 hours before they could actually film, and I was like so interested in that. So went to college then. Instagram kind of started. It wasn't as obviously as big as what it is now. Like there was no such thing as an influencer as such. Like there was YouTubers, and I would watch all the big makeup YouTubers, and that's how I'd learned to do my makeup. But I just kind of started posting my stuff online, and I kind of started gaining traction from there, and now here we are. Yeah, it's mad.
Do you feel like if it wasn't for social media, you wouldn't be where you are right now?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think social media has put me on like a totally different path than I ever could have imagined.
Yeah.
But I just kind of go with it. That's what I just kept going and just kept posting, and I was really enjoying it. And it was, you know, I felt like I was getting to be creative. I always say that if I'm doing something that makes me feel creative, then I'm happy. And also something that helps people. I feel like that's my why a lot of the time, is it needs to be something I feel like creatively inspired by, but also like helping people. So like doing tutorials or now creating makeup that people love. Like that's my big why.
Yeah, you'd have I seen yesterday, I was on your page and I seen the Mr. Bean.
I know, it's
And
terrifying.
you were walking around, was that in your
Office.
Yeah.
I know, you never know what I'm going to come out of that makeup room. So I have a little studio in the office that I can film all my bits and pieces and then straight out onto the office floor. Yeah, especially around Halloween, you've no idea what I'm going to walk out looking like. The guys are always terrified.
I say everyone walking in there loves it. Like,
Oh,
they think it's hilarious.
They think I'm mad. They think I'm absolutely mad. But yeah, Mr. Beat, that's a very funny one. I always say as well, I pick characters sometimes. I like obviously doing bigger transformations, but then the fun ones I really enjoy too. I kind of get into character a little bit too much though from it. Like I'd done the Grinch a few years back and I literally was talking like him for ages afterwards. I don't know what it is. It's like I transform everything into them. I really get into character a bit too much, I think. It's too much.
But yeah, so with the social media, like you've such a big growth, like how did you start with your makeup brand actually? Like how did that even come about?
That came from years of working online and working in the industry. So I started obviously gaining a following. I was working for different brands, posting ads and stuff like that. And it got to the point, I've done a few collaborations as well. I actually done a collaboration with Morphe, which was like ridiculous. It was weird. Do you like believe in manifestation and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, because this is just, there's so many weird things that's happened in my life, but this is probably one of the weirdest ones. I remember being on, I did a masterclass tour around Ireland, just doing, makeup on stage and whatnot. And people would ask me questions. And one of the questions I always get asked is, who's a brand you'd love to collaborate with? And I always said something like, oh, well, Morphe would be the dream. But obviously that's like just complete wishful thinking because they were like the biggest brand online at that time. Like they were absolutely massive. And then the fact that I got to collaborate with them on my own palette with them as well is just absolutely wild. Like I'm like, how did they find me? This little girl from the back arse of nowhere in Ireland. Like, how did you find me? That's the power of the internet.
And did you ask them?
No, I know it was from online and I was always tagging them and stuff, but it was just wild, like just crazy how that came into fruition. But I definitely got like an interest in creating makeup then from them. And my friend had said to me at the time, who's now one of my business partners, he said, well, why don't you come out with your own brand or whatever? And I was like, I don't know, I like like just making up all these excuses basically. But he was like, no, what's the reason? Why can't you do it right now? And I was like, I can't give you an answer. So that was it. I was like, well, I can't give him a proper reason as to why I can't do it. So let me put myself fully into this. I feel like I'm ready. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I feel like I love creating products, and again, creating products that make people feel really good or make them feel confident or beautiful. Like that's the reason for it. Or makes their makeup easier as well. Yeah. That kind of way, and just changes it. Because makeup, I know for so many people, obviously is something they put on to like feel better or, make themselves, give them more confidence and stuff. But for a lot of people, even say like me, like it's my escape. Like whenever I'm sitting down doing my makeup, there's nothing else that matters. This is what I'm doing. I'll forget to do everything else in my life as long as I'm painting my face. And creating products now that do that for people is like mind blowing when I think about it too much.
So like, obviously for someone else like watching this and like as a makeup artist and they're like, I'd love my own makeup brand. Yeah. Like how did you go about it? Like did you contact manufacturers, try to get samples? Like how long was the whole process and what are the steps?
The big steps. Okay, so one of the I think more common ways of doing it, there's like a big convention that's held every year in Italy called Cosmoprof. So basically what it means is that all these manufacturers from all over the world, all these labs all come to the one spot and they bring basically everything and showcase their work, what they specialize in doing. And that's where you can kind of meet a lot of people and kind of really test out their products there and be like, okay, I like this lab for this, I like this lab for that. That's another thing. People think that your products all come from the one lab. No. There's like so many different people who specialize in different things. So like you could have like an eyelash company, you could have someone that focuses on mainly your skincare and then maybe your eye products. Like there's all different types.
There'd be eyelash manufacturers in that place in Italy as well.
Yeah. Oh, like eyelashes are massive.
Like,
like hair, those kind of synthetic hair, like massive, absolutely massive. But that's probably the more conventional way to do it. I definitely didn't do it conventionally. So again, proper Irish way, someone who knows someone. So we ended up chatting to a team over in Asia that basically had like other connections then as well, and they researched on the ground for us then, which makes it a lot easier because of the language barrier and stuff like that. So they were able to research on the ground and find really good factories, and we actually flew over to the factories then to visit them in person and spend proper time with them too. Probably would have been easier if I just done the Cosmoprof thing first and then went out, but I think especially for me and like my business partners, whenever we were doing it, it was just so important for us that we seen everything like firsthand. I needed to know where all the products were coming from. I needed to meet the people. You just build different relationships, and especially business relationships as well, when you get to see people in person.
Yeah, I've gotten like samples, or I've like brought out products, and then the manufacturers like fuck you over, and then you're like, I would have rather, did you know, with some of them I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like I'd love to go over and I'd probably find even someone better. I'm happy with the products that I have now, but I'm like, I'd love to go over and meet and see what's more out there, do you know?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely would recommend Cosmoprof to you then, because it is like, now it's mad. It's a massive convention. You're going to walk the legs off you, but it's so incredible. And again, like that, you're building relationships, and actually people, I feel like, take you seriously too, because they actually see you in person and kind of can understand your vision then as well. Like you just, there's typing over emails and, you know, calls is so different.
And I feel like the time difference, and then when it comes to like wherever they're from, like the language barrier, it's a bit like, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, that's probably, it's not even the language barrier though as well. I think because you're talking with like scientists and people in the lab, and I'm talking from like a makeup point of view of how it feels on my skin and how I want it to look and the way it needs to like glide on or apply, which they obviously understand, but it's like sometimes my way of describing things might not be the way that they interpret it then too. So that's probably a massive thing I don't think people realize, is how much work especially goes into creating products. Like the back and forth can take years, honestly, years. And the packaging as well. Packaging is a massive thing that I feel like can sometimes take longer than the actual product itself. Like sometimes you get a really good product and you're like, okay, I love this. Like we hit this, the nail on the head straight away with this. Now we look at different packaging options and the one that we want isn't there, or like is way too expensive that it makes the product like, you know, it would put the price through the roof for the customer. So it's like, it's wild.
Yeah, I feel like you do forget that you need to take all these things into consideration, like your price, your product. Like the first time I priced my product would be like near enough to what other people in like my industry are charging. Like just obviously I kind of went off that, and then obviously I just took the price for the actual product, and then I was like, right, if I sell it for that, I'll be making that much profit. But like now it's your shipping, someone to package it, then your overheads for the rent, the electricity, all of that.
Oh, everything. And this is what, and see, I would have had that thing, I would have just been like, oh sure, that's what you make off that, that's fine. You wouldn't think like, this is why I'm the creative person in Cashell, and I have my business partners who like are so amazing and I understand a lot of the business side now, and I've learned an awful lot obviously through like growing your business. That's how you learn, is from actually working in it. But like naturally I wouldn't have had like a big business brain. I always say like my superpower is makeup and my superpower is creativity, and that's where I need to like flourish in, and having people that you can trust to do the businessy side of things. Obviously still being involved and knowing what's going on, but having people that really know that, and also stepping back and being like, I don't know everything. And that's probably one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give to anyone in business is, you know, hire people who are smarter than you, because you can learn from them then too. I feel like if you're trying to hold people or think that you know everything or you can do everything, you're actually like causing a hindrance to your business then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm shocking when it comes to like Excel or anything to do with the laptop.
Oh no, numbers, no.
Yeah, like it's, I can't do it. And
but I know
like
that. I know it's not my strong point. I'm like, if I do this, it's not going to be done properly. I'll try my very best, but I know that's just not. I need to focus on my superpower and what I do really
And then how long you were going to spend time on doing that.
Exactly,
when you could hire someone to do that, and then you're focusing on the social media, which is bringing more sales in.
Yeah, exactly,
so you're going to be coming out with more money.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which I feel like people like tend to like cut corners because they're like, I do it myself, it'll be cheaper. When it comes to like I was speaking to girls and they're like, oh, I'll build my own website, I'll learn myself off YouTube. I tried to do that before as well, and I just made it balls and spent so much time on it.
If I tried to do it, I'd be like, I wouldn't even know where to start. So that's, I definitely think, but I understand that's scary though too. And that's, I guess, the thing of business though, right, is you have to invest so much of yourself and your time, no matter what, even if it's the stuff that you are really good at. And then also so much money as well that goes into it before you even start selling. Like that's what I think is interesting. You have to spend so much money actually getting your product before you start making a profit. And that's all money. Products,
and then
basically
you keep investing it back in then.
Oh yeah,
it just feels like you don't ever see it.
Oh my God, if I had people, the amount of people who think I'm a millionaire, and I'm like, are you for real? Now, first of all, I think Google says I'm worth like 5 million or something like that. I'm like,
can you actually look that up and it'll say that?
I'm like, do you want to show me where this 5 million is, please? But I always say I feel like that's people who don't understand business, because anyone in business knows how much you have to invest. Like you are investing everything, and the money you needed at the start, say, to set up the business is like triple the amount now you need to actually keep it going, because you've got people now, you've got employees that you need to pay, you're ordering more stock in, you've got a bigger warehouse, there's all these things, you're ordering more product, like everything just gets bigger and bigger. So the bigger you grow, the more money you make, but the more money you have to invest. It's like this constant cycle.
Yeah. And how do you probably about a year ago, I found it really hard to manage cash flow. How do you, obviously you have it even more.
I have the people to deal with that. That's what I will say. I've got the best people to deal with it. Like I said, that's not my forte, but that is definitely a massive thing in business that you're kind of trying to struggle. It's making sure that you have enough cash flow to be able to buy your new products. Like I could have products, like say at the beginning, and sitting there ready to go, but we needed to make sure we had enough cash flow to actually purchase these products first and get them in. And of course, like we said, hiring people and stuff. It's just this cycle that just keeps on going and going and growing and going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. So you don't deal with any side of that?
No, if I did, the business would be in the ground already. Let's be honest. It would be. Yeah, no, that's not my strong point at all. Like what you said, even talking about the products, I'd be like, that's grand. That's a little bit of profit there off it. And I'm like, but all that money's gone because it has to go to these things. So that's not my forte.
Yeah, I feel like that's what people will say, I bought the actual product for whatever you bought it for, say €4, but then you sell it for 20, and then you're thinking, what, the €16 is your profit, but it's actually not at all.
No, because there's the shipping cost, there's the storing the product, there's everything that comes into that then as well. Like I said, paying your employees, so much that comes out of that then.
Yeah, I invested so much money into products, and then only a year after, I realised that. And then you'd be thinking, I used to think all the bigger brands that are doing it years, I'd be like, they're just being greedy now with their prices, but they're not. They're probably say at stage, obviously they've learned the lesson that I'm learning, that I learned there only recently. That's obviously not the way you price your products.
It's definitely something that you have to learn. And see, this is the thing, is you don't learn this stuff in school. Well, I didn't do business in school, so I don't know. Maybe you did
business in school, and I did not learn anything that I actually need right now in school.
But it's funny because it's obviously annoying. You wish you knew all these things, but it's part of the fun of it as well, is learning and is growing. And it's obviously a really exciting time. It's a lot of hard work, but it's exciting to better yourself and grow your business and stuff,
Yeah. So with your social media then, how do you find being so consistent with it? I feel because you have the amount of staff that you have, the amount of things that you need to be worrying, how do you find, all right, okay, I have time now to make this video, and especially with your makeup, if I'd say it could be hours by the time you
Oh yeah, it takes ages. This is my word that of the year, and it was supposed to be my word of the year last year, but balance. I'm trying to find balance an awful lot. Since starting my brand Cash, it definitely has taken the majority of my time. When I was just doing content creation, I was giving that 120%. I loved it so much, staying up late doing things, or getting up early, or spending hours and hours on this makeup look, and then hours and hours editing it. But I enjoyed it so much. I never looked at it and be like, oh God, I don't want to have to do this. I loved it so much. I love creating. But then obviously you start a brand, and it's this is my brand. This is what I'm putting out there. This is what people are spending their hard-earned money on. I need to give that 120%. So if I'm giving Cash 120%, where's the other percent left? So trying to find the balance in between. And it's hard, especially when you have a growing brand. We're after growing so quickly, especially the past year. I think it was...
How long is it out?
it's going to be 4 years this September, but like officially 4 years. But say, for example, I'm after completely losing my train of thought. It's after gone out that window.
How do you
now.
find time for social media?
Yes. It's just very hard to find the balance in between the two of them. And like I said, when you're giving it 120%, you've got no percentage left for like your other side of things. But it's still so important that I keep up with the Keilidh side. And like I said, actually, we're after growing so much after the past year. Like I think last year we were probably in like 5 retailers, and now we're in like over 100. So like it's ridiculous, the growth rate and how much the business demands of you. But we're in a really exciting stage because obviously we're growing. We're obviously looking to hire more people then as well. And that's kind of you're trying to keep up with the pace of the beast almost. That's how we describe it. But I'm definitely trying to find more balance in between the two, making sure that I purposely put aside time to create my own content. And because I still enjoy that so much, like I love it so much. It's it's why I got into this in the first place, and I love it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I keep trying to say to myself, like, if you didn't have your social media, you probably wouldn't have cash.
It's so definitely,
if you kept, like, obviously you probably need to push your social media for marketing in itself.
I think social media obviously has like a massive positive when it comes to like having your brand. So say, for example, I had this massive following before I even started. So it wasn't like I was trying to, start a brand from, trying to build up the awareness there. I had so much awareness already and people who trusted me from, my recommendations from products and stuff. So that was a massive plus, but there is negative sides to it obviously then as well. I think obviously so many celebrities or influencers and whatnot have come out with so many brands that everyone's like, oh, another influencer brand. Or, people who don't know me or haven't followed me might just think that's just another influencer starting a brand, where in reality I'm a makeup artist, a qualified makeup artist. I worked on counter for years, worked on so many different skin types, skin tones. There's way more positives though to that like little negative, because I've got this unbelievable people that I can literally reach out and be like, what do you guys want to see? I've got direct connection with my customers who were my followers first, and I can ask them things about what they want to see, what's new. Yeah.
So you know exactly what type of product
they want. Yeah.
That's needed on the market. Yeah.
100%.
So going back to you were saying there that with the staff, you have 20 staff, like, so how did, when you started and opened up your business, like how did you know, like, right, okay, this is the staff that I need to grow and scale my business?
Well, you didn't. You just did it. Yeah. And then you started doing things and you were like, oh dear, we need someone to do that. Oh dear, I'm doing this. I definitely need someone better at doing that, Like whenever we first started, it was just myself, my 2 business partners, and we had a graphic designer. Like that's what it was when we initially first started. And it was that for like the first few months, I would say, and then we started hiring more people on. It's one of those things where you're like, okay, I think we've hired enough people now, and then it's like, boom, we're growing, they're still growing. So it's like you think we were after hiring somebody and you're like, this is great, and you're like, actually we need another 10 people alongside that. Because I know you were saying that as well, you didn't know whether to start bringing on somebody for yourself, like, right?
I feel like I need someone more for like marketing and social media, because I feel like I can't keep up with it. I feel like I need to do like,
because it's a beast in itself.
I feel like I need to do my own social media, because obviously I'm the one that does the lashes, does the nails, and I know what to be posting. And again, it needs to be like, I'm doing a social media course, and it's like it needs to be all yourself and personal stuff that people want to actually see.
100%.
So that's another thing I was actually going to ask you, like, do you do your own social media? Like it's
my own, it's
all your own on every single platform.
Oh no, I don't have anyone posting anything for me on Keilidh MUA. No.
All right, okay, but other platforms like say Cash or anything like that.
Oh yeah, Cash, we have a team there as well. I'm obviously still involved in that as well, but I'd love to get it to a point where we grow it so much that it's like it's just a team, like again, that kind of has all their own stuff, and I'm coming in and being like, that's great, love seeing this, or helping with ideas and stuff. But I think if you're at that point where you're like, you can feel that you're like, I'm not able to give this as much time that it needs, and that's probably the time to hire somebody then.
That's what I'm just kind of like, I'm like, do you ever see, like, I was like looking up Google and I was like, right, okay, what job title would that be?
It's like social media manager.
Like that's
is it someone you want to create content as well?
I'm like I feel like I need marketing. I feel like I'm like, well, like that's obviously not my side of, I wouldn't even know. Half the time, do you ever feel like you need someone but you don't actually exactly know what that actually is.
But see, this is the thing though, and I think it's important to understand, especially in business then as well, is like everybody feels like that. I think people think, oh, you're like, that's even people say, you're such a big businesswoman. And I'm like, I was never a businesswoman until I started doing this. And I learned along the way because I had great people around me to learn. And then through doing it, sometimes you have to throw yourself into the shit and, you know, come back out. But it's like, you only learn from doing it, I suppose. But I would be looking up, obviously, like probably like a social media marketing
that's what it was kind of going in, but I was like, maybe there's like something else that I'd need as well that I don't know. Like, you know, all your people to be saying like your SEO and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't even know what that is.
So that's basically SEO is basically like the words that you put either in your captions or on your website, that like buzzwords almost that you have people. So if you imagine your customer who you want to find your products, what are they going to be searching? So do you know what I mean? Like my SEO wouldn't just be Cash Beauty, because like that means people would have to know of Cash Beauty to do it. Whereas if they looked up the best makeup products ever, then maybe you might come out, you know, that kind of way. Like you have to put certain words in that would link your brand basically. Yeah.
And I'd say like, obviously when you started the makeup brand, I'd say that was like scary. Like obviously, like how did you like fund the business like from the beginning? I'd say that was a lot of money. Like
it was but I, like I said, was doing social media beforehand, so I've kind of built up, you know, cash flow from that, from obviously doing different brand deals and stuff like that, and just building myself up from that. It's a big investment, it's a massive investment, and like I said, it's a massive investment to just put into, like, that money's gone for months before you actually start selling it, and then it comes back and you think it's great because you're like selling all these products and you're like, oh, you're not in profit zone just yet, you know that, and then it gets put all straight back into the next products because you need more products the next time. It's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah, exactly, isn't it? I feel like people just assume that someone has a business, they have a lot of money stashed up behind them.
I'm like, do you want to tell me where it is? Where is it? Where's all this money I need to have?
I'd love to see it.
Well, it gets invested straight back in, and that's the thing I think people don't realize. It's just, again, it's like the first time you order something, you need to order double of that next time if it sells out and does really well. So that means the money you're after making from the first time is going straight back in. It's just continuous.
And you won't, like, if you don't reinvest it, you don't see growth.
Exactly. So you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your like vision as such. And that's probably, again, another massive thing I'd say to people is just really believe in yourself. I think if you don't believe in yourself, how the hell is anybody else going to believe in yourself? Do you know, you need to have confidence in what you're doing and really feel like, I got this. And if there's ever times where I like question myself, it's good obviously to question yourself because you need to make sure you're growing and doing the best that you can. But the bottom line is that, like, I know that I'm always putting in 100% and where I want the brand to be and what I want it to kind of stand for. As long as you know those bottom lines and you're aiming towards that the whole time, then you'll get there. I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, and I feel like you're like putting yourself, obviously you're posting so long now. I feel like half of the time it's like I'll make something, I'll make like content, and then I look at it and I've been making it so long that I'm kind of like, no, I actually don't want to post. Like I overthink it. Or like sitting there criticizing yourself, like how would you just make something and then you don't even like...
I would sometimes, but a lot of that will come down to if I'm not organized. So I'm naturally not a very organized person. I'm very sporadic. Like I get really inspired by something. I'm like, I need to do that now. Like, never mind the other 10 million things that's on my list. This is the most important thing that I am so obsessed with. I just need to get it done. But if I'm not organized and I don't plan out the exact content, like if I just try to wing it, then usually I won't like it because I'm like, oh, well, I could have done that better. Or like, this could have been done like this. Or like, oh, I forgot that part of it, you know? So there is some sort of organization that's needed to it. But I can often tell, again, the baseline of my content that I usually would do, and I'm not as hard on myself as what I would have been before, as like, or as much of a perfectionist, because I don't do the like crazy creative makeup as much online, say, anymore. But I try to have fun with it, and as long as I'm excited by it, like if I'm like, oh, I like that. But then other times there's content where I'm like, I don't have to be excited about that. That's just me showing my dress, and people just love seeing the dress I'm wearing, you know? Like it's almost having tiers to your content, being like, okay, I know this is something that my followers are gonna love to see. It's quick and it's easy. Here's the thing that I really love doing, and I get so much, you know, creative buzz from doing this, and I enjoy it so much, and it might not do as well online, but I know I loved it. Do you know? And I think as long as you know that you put everything into it, or you are happy with the content, then that's it. Because sometimes it's the silliest things that go absolutely viral
that you would never even expect.
No, I'm like, that took me 2 seconds. How is that even a thing? Like, seriously.
And something that you put so much time and energy into, you're like, that's what they're flopping.
Yeah, it flops. But then that's what I mean is your intention behind it then has to be very, very clear. So am I doing this because I want to get a bunch of followers, or am I doing this because this is the content I actually really like, and I know someone's going to get value from this, and it's something I really enjoy. So it's knowing the difference between what it is you're posting.
Yeah, so when you're saying about being organised, like, so before you create any content, like what way would you plan it out? How do you
I used to have notebooks all over the house. I had about 20 notebooks, and then I'd write loads of different ideas in, and then never know which notebook I wrote in. So I have this thing, it's called a Remarkable. It's basically like an electrolyzed.
I have one of them, and I never even use it.
Do you not? Oh, you should. It's like my brain now. It's literally like in my hand the whole time now, if I'm anywhere, like in work, in the business, but then also for Keilidh MUA. So I have to write out all my ideas first. So say if I sit down, because I do so much work with Cash, I try to have certain set days that's just for Keilidh, because if I'm focused on one thing, that's the only thing I can do. So say if I've got Cash stuff on that morning and I try to do a Keilidh look that evening, it's not going to happen. My brain's fried from talking about Cash all day, or else I'm thinking about that idea with Cash that I wanted to do, and I can't do it. I can't focus then back on Keilidh. So I try to have set days that are just for Keilidh MUA. If I'm sitting down and I have the time here to do looks, I'm getting as much out of it as possible. So I'm like, okay, obviously doing a makeup look. Is there a trending makeup look I can do? Is there like trending TikTok sounds that would make sense? What are people really wanting to see? Is there a certain product within that makeup look that people are kind of really interested in knowing? Like, remember the skinny brows trend that was really in then as well, the Pamela Anderson kind of vibe, or like a blush, because people are just obsessed with product videos as well recently. So not only my face then as well, what about my hair? Is there anything I could do with my hair that's different? Is there like a trend that I seen that I really liked? I love making myself look different. I hate looking the same the whole time. So if I can do something that kind of changes that up. What about my outfit? Did I buy anything recently that I think could be cool? Or is there something I had in my wardrobe that I haven't got a clue how to style? Why don't I throw it on and see if I can make something cool out of it? Like, there's so many different aspects and things that are turning that you're trying to think of.
So would you do that, say that morning, like think about all of that, plan it out, and then record it?
No, it's like the full week. Like it's constant. It's constant. I'm never just on my phone being like, you know, kind of scrolling. Obviously you get put into that trap sometimes, but if I see a video online and I'm like, oh, I love that video, I'm like, how could I do that? Is there something I could do that with Cash? Is there something I could do that with Keilidh? Do you know, is there something that it's kind of what's inspired me in here? And then I'll always save posts, and then what I'll do is I sit down with my management, so Keilidh MUA management. We have a weekly meeting where we just kind of discuss things that has been happening online, or stuff, videos, maybe if there's something else I could be doing, or something that worked for me, or something new I could try. We kind of bounce ideas off each other, and then I sit down for each week and I know exactly what I'm doing, and I have like a whole plan of everything. And see, this is the thing, is you can plan as much as you want, but the internet's wild. So even within that week of me planning, something else could have popped up on the internet that's brand new and I need to hop on straight away. Do you know? Like, it's just constantly, it never sleeps. Never sleeps.
I feel like on days a way to do content, and if I plan it out, it does do better, and it's better videos and you get more out of it.
You feel better from that though.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know exactly what you're doing, and then like from something like we get models in and they'll do lashes or brows or whatever. Yeah. And like, when we plan exactly what videos we need, you get more out of the day.
You do, 100%.
Where if you kind of just went with it and then you can't.
And see, I can't do that, because that would just, I'm after spending a full day putting aside time here that I could have been working on Cash, or I could have been doing this, that and the other. If I'm sitting down to do this, I need to make the absolute most out of it.
Yeah.
Like the absolute most.
Would you edit all your content then as well?
Yeah, so it's funny, my boyfriend Darren, I've been with him years now, but I actually kind of taught him the works of editing at the beginning, and now he's like taught himself so much that he's way better than me, and he actually works for a creative agency called Viral Media, which edits all Cash videos and does all our shoots and stuff like that too. So Darren would edit some videos for me, but I find the way that the world has gone right now, a lot of it's very quick videos. So like, to be honest, they only take about a few minutes to edit them, and because I film them, I kind of know what way I want to edit them then. And I actually really enjoy that editing process.
Oh dear.
I love everything. You don't like it?
Oh no,
I
feel
love
like
it.
it wrecks me head. But then if someone else edited it, I'd be like, oh, I would have rather that be in it.
Yeah, I get, and that's what's hard as a creative. But I think for me, I really enjoy the whole process. Like how I get something I love is if it's an idea that I come up with that I really like. Okay, how am I going to execute that idea? Then do the idea and then edit it afterwards. I like love seeing the full vision or the full thing come to life. That's like my favorite thing. I love feeling like really involved in kind of every aspect of it.
Yeah, and so are you still like? Would you be still posting every day on like?
No. I've gotten bad with it compared to what I used to be before. I used to be so consistent, and I know consistency is the main thing when it comes to online. So that's what I mean is I'm trying to find my balance within that, but also try to be realistic. Like before, I used to be able to post like 6 times a week. I don't have time, like as in just say on Instagram like that, I don't have the luxury of time like what I did before. Like before, content creation was my only job. So I needed to learn to not be hard on myself with that and be like, okay, what's a realistic standard here? What's realistically is the least I'm able to get done in the week and then the most I'm able to get done in the week, and fall somewhere in between that then.
Yeah, and I feel like again it's consistency, but if you're posting consistently and you're posting shite as well, then
see, that's exactly trying to find the balance between consistently and then good content then too.
Yeah, that's mad. I honestly wasn't expecting you to turn around and say, "Yeah, I do it."
Yeah, I do. It's probably. It's funny because I'd actually think it would take longer me trying to explain to somebody else how to do it, and I know that's just a control thing because if you spend the time to teach people how to do something, they'll be able to do it. But like I said, so much of the content I do now is so quick that it's like, if it was a bigger like thing that I was doing, then maybe definitely I'd have someone else, if it was taking up a massive chunk of my time. But because this is something and like that, I dedicate time on those days to be able to film and to be able to edit it. So it's like there's time put in for all those things. It has to be organized. Yeah,
that's something like, where are you finding the time to do it?
I have to set it aside. I literally have to, or else I'll be lying in bed at night and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't edit that video. I need to edit that quickly. Like it's just, well, it's like, what else? I'd rather spend time on my phone editing a video than scrolling.
Because like you've such a big business behind you that I'm like, my head would be racing. I'm like, I have like a thing on me notes on my phone, and it's like, I have to do this, I have to do that, and then I look at it,
remarkable. You need to use your remarkable.
That's what I feel like, because I have my phone. I'm like, it's another thing to put in my bag.
I get that, but then the thing that because I used to put everything on notes on my phone and I'd forget everything. I'd forget everything, or I'm like, what notes did I put that in there now, or where is this? Because I just have a bunch of to-dos. To do, and it's, you ever see those videos online actually, and it's like girls' notes app, I'm like, that is me. I look at it, I'm like, what even is, I have no idea what that is, but remarkable, I kind of keep it more businessy, if that makes sense, on my phone.
There's mine.
Yeah, no. Oh, no. Oh my God, no wonder that gives you the fear. That gives you the fear looking at it.
Yeah.
No.
I'm literally, I'm after getting diagnosed that I have ADHD, and I showed her that.
Yeah.
And she goes, that just tells me everything. I don't even need to ask you anything else. She was like, that's it. That's
so funny.
I was like, oh my God, stop it. That's just my head. Like,
yeah, you're better than me though. At least yours is full form sentences. Mine would just be a normal word, but you should try the remarkable then. I think you'd like it if you give it, because you can have folders. I have it about 2
years and sitting beside of my bed, and I just don't touch it.
You can have folders and everything in it, and that's a good thing as well by having it in somewhere else. It's on your phone, because as a business owner or as an online content creator, what's your job? It's on your phone the whole time. What's something you have on you at all times?
Your phone.
This phone. So it's like, when are you ever going to switch off?
I put my phone on do not disturb, so like, but like it's shocking. People try to ring me and they can't get through.
I only do it at nighttime because I'm like, because the notifications just send me west. But I know you can do a thing on your phone though where you can like pick certain people who you want that can actually contact you then. So it's, I need to actually change the sentence, because everyone is just like, like people just don't even bother ringing me. They just text me to ring them. Yeah, I get what you mean. I don't think I ring anybody anymore. I'm such a texter. And then my WhatsApp as well. I always forget to text people back too. I'm just an airhead. As all the time I spend on my phone, but it is doing other things. And I'm like, I'll get back to them. And then it's like, forgotten, never to be remembered ever again.
You're like, in a minute. And minute
never comes.
So I'm like, is there any any new products or anything that you're launching that you probably don't even want to say?
I can't say, of course, but there's always newness coming. But this year's definitely going to be our biggest yet. There's some products that we have that have been in the works for a really, really long time that I worked really, really hard on and very closely with the labs to make. And yeah, it's coming later this year. It's something that people are always asking me for, so people are going to guess what it is anyways. But it's just something that takes an awful lot of time, and we had to wait to grow our business to where it is now to be able to do this. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's absolutely buzzing for that now.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's still scary though. This is the thing, is I don't think that ever goes away.
Because you're like, are people going to buy it? Are they going to love it as much as me? Like,
I think it's because you put so much love and hard work into something, and I feel like I'm almost giving a little bit of myself like to it. And I know I've built that up online is to not let people's opinions and stuff like that kind of change how you view yourself. But it's different when you have a business, because this is like, okay, no, I need to listen to these things because how can I make my business a bit better? But when you're creating a product, I'm always like, this is just like a little idea in my brain and like the team's brain, and I'm like, how is that sitting in front of me right now? And then I go on my phone and I see someone using it, and I'm like, how are they after getting this thing that's from my brain, or that was a secret for so long? Like, it's so weird, and if I deep it too much, I like, it just blows my mind. I can't think about it too much. I get freaked out.
And like, you mentioned you have, is it a business partner?
Yeah, two business partners. Yes.
Yeah. So like, how did you come about meeting them? Like,
so I've known them for years from working in other places that I had worked. I kind of met them along this journey and became really good friends with them. That's what it was. And so I worked on a makeup counter first, and then I went out and started doing my own social media. I thought I was going to be a makeup artist. I bought the chair and everything to be able to do makeup artists from home. Like, after working on counter, and the chair never got used once. I literally didn't take one booking, because as soon as I left my makeup counter job, I was just getting all these things being like, I want you to film this, I want you to film this, or I could see, like, I wanted to spend my time on the content creation. Yeah, it's like when you could realize that you could make more money doing that, as opposed to it's just absolutely wild. But I met them along the way, I became really good friends with them, and then once I started going into the influencer world, because it's scary, I was only a baby at this stage. I think it was like 2021. I didn't know what I was doing, and like that, I'm not naturally a business person. Like, I would rather give everybody everything to make them happy, and like, as opposed to thinking of myself in a business perspective. So I was always asking them for advice when it came to, brands wanting to work with me or different opportunities that came to me. It was always like, I was always going to them because I trusted them so much, and I knew they had my back 100%, and that no matter what, they were putting me first, even if I wasn't putting myself first sometimes. If I was like, oh, this is amazing opportunity to come up, but they're literally taking the piss out of you right now, Keilidh. Like,
you
don't
could be
get
getting
excited
money for this, like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they really opened my eyes to that. And like that, I think the main thing though for me was trust. And yeah, that's basically, and then they started actually managing me. So full-time managing me, they took me on as the first influencer that they were kind of managing. And then from that, they set up their own management agency, Icon Management, which now manage some of the top creators in Ireland. So yeah, it's mad how the world works and how things happen. But yeah, that's always the main thing with them anyways, is trust. And I think that's a massive thing for me too. And knowing what our strong points are and letting each of us focus on those strong points is like how you create the magic.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what a lot of people think. Like, I obviously would have assumed you done everything yourself.
No,
but nobody does.
Am I superwoman? Like, no, not at all.
Yeah, where I feel like people don't realize that. Yeah, you do need to go and ask for help and
you do
ask for advice, and it's okay to do that.
But that's not a weakness. That's actually probably one of the strongest things you can do. Because, like I said, if I had sat there and been like, "Oh, I could do everything myself. I know the best." Blah blah blah. I could have run the absolute business into the ground. Or like, you've got people working for you. You have to be responsible in that and know when there's people who are better at certain things than you. Do you know that kind of way? And like that, focus on what you're really good at. That was like the biggest thing for me. Obviously, it's not turning around and being like, oh, I'm not having anything to do with that. I know everything that's going on and involved in so much that's going on as well. But I know what I need to focus on. I know what my main focus points are, if that makes sense, which is obviously product development. That's like the massive thing that like no one else can do within Cash. Like that's all through me. So it's like that I need to have the time to, if I'm wasting my time on all these willy-nilly little things, or even some of the bigger businessy things that as well, it's like I'm not spending time on the products, which is the most important thing.
Yeah. And so like I'd love to see like a week in the life of Keilidh.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because people always ask me to film these kind of things, and obviously that's my job as a content creator, but whenever you're in meetings,
I did forget. I tried. I got consistent with doing Day in the Life. And then I just went out the window, and I keep saying, I'm like, I need to start doing them again because we're doing well.
Yeah, I need someone to follow me around. That's what I
was only saying that the other day.
I need someone to follow me around because I'm not, if I'm in the shit or like I'm in a big meeting and I'm not sitting and I'm trying to figure things out, I'm not sitting there being like, let me pull out my camera, guys, say hi to everybody. Like, you're not thinking of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I know that's what people are interested in, but it's very hard to kind of take yourself out of that and be a camera person and the business person in that moment. But the weeks honestly differ every week depending on what's going on. Sometimes, you know, they're obviously more focused on marketing if we have like big things happening, or else other times it could be more focused on products if we're like gearing up, say, for like Christmas, trying to get all the products ready, because that takes forever. And I feel like I talk about Christmas all year round.
Really?
All year round, because Christmas, you're organising it way beforehand, and then it gets to Christmas and you're like, I'm already thinking,
all your stock ready to go into, like, say,
so then all your stock is ready at the start of the year. So this, you talking about Christmas up until this point, then it comes to Christmas and you're like, I'm sick of this, and then it's straight back into talking about the next Christmas. It's like a Christmas never gets a break ever. It's Christmas all the time. So it is when you have a business.
In all fairness, it's only like we're like talking about, like, we have course dates and stuff, and I'm like, we're already talking about September, and
it's mad.
Like, it's like, where did the year go?
Yeah. And you think it's so far away. You're like, oh, that's ages away. Next thing you blink and you're like, how did we get here? Like, I just feel like time is going by so quick, and I don't think about things. I don't think about the year anymore. Almost in months. I'm like, what? That's when that's launching. Or that's when this is launching. Everything's to do with like product launches now in my head, or like big moments in the year like that, like Christmas, like Black Friday. Like, it's all these moments as opposed to months, or like quarter one, quarter two, quarter. I'm like, when did my life become this? It just kind of happens. You just get thrown into it.
Yeah, I feel like I forget half the time. Like a day comes where it's like there should be a sale on, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really even plan it, but
it's because you get so sucked into, and that's a big thing as well, why it's important to have people helping you, because I feel like sometimes you can get so sucked into the day to day that sometimes you can forget to look at the bigger picture. So that's why bringing on more people allows you to be able to focus on the bigger picture then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so would you go in and like manage then all the staff that you have in as well?
Now, again, we've got so many different sectors, obviously, in the business. There's so many different things, but the teams that I would have most dealings with would be obviously the marketing and online team, and then obviously the product development team as well then. So that they're like my main people that I would have most of my meetings with, and kind of trying to figure out, obviously, with the products, the deadlines that we're trying to hit, and then obviously making sure that the products that we've made, then what way we want to market them online, what way they'd be sold, like everything that's got to do with the selling of the product has to, obviously, I have to be involved in that because I'm the one who created it.
You're the brand, yeah.
Do you know, if I'm not there to tell them I created this because of this, or I did this because of this, and this is, do you know, that kind of way. Obviously, they're along the whole journey, but it's, that would be the most important parts.
Yeah, I'm like, fair play to you.
Well, it is. It's definitely very, very different to what I'm used to, because I worked on Makeup Counter, but then I worked for myself for such a long time. And doing my own thing, and, you know, really getting to focus on it and stuff like that. And now I'm in an office working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and then doing all my other stuff as well, where it's like, it doesn't feel like I'm in an office job though as well, probably still because it's my business as such. You just always feel like you're doing this, that and the other and other stuff. But to go from that to then being constantly surrounded by people then as well, like, it's a massive change. But we've got a great team, like such good people. I know I'm so blessed with everyone who works for us. I always say, like, you know, it's the team that make the brand. Do you know, sometimes I look at them and I'm like, is this your brand or mine? Because how passionate they are about it. And I know I'm so lucky and so blessed with that.
You want people who are invested in your brand. If they don't care, they're just there just to...
Yeah, this is it. But I'd say that about people in their jobs in general. Do you know, like, if, you know, to be so inspired by something, or to feel like, you know, I absolutely love this, like, that is key, especially when having a business. If you don't have that, like, drive and the, like, I don't know, I really want to do this, you won't be successful, because it's hard. It's very testing, and there's things that go wrong all the time or don't go the way you plan. And if you don't have that, like, in you to be like, I want this so bad, that it's not going to happen. You have
Yeah.
to have that like fire 100%.
Yeah. And would you have, like, say for interviews, like, would you do the interviews with every single person that you've hired?
No, not every single person. Absolutely not. But I would come in, again, depending on where they're being hired into, what sector they're being hired into. And I would come into the interview stage at some point then as well, especially if there's someone who's going to be working awful closely with me. So say like on the marketing team or the product development and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you'd have to trust someone else that's working for you to hire someone that is.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. I
okay for
have
the
that
job.
Yeah. I'm at that point where like absolutely you have that. And that's something like, again, you build that up though.
I'd still be thinking, oh my God, what if, like, who do they hire? Like, are they definitely right for the job?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
I'd still be,
yeah, but
but you
see-
can't,
no,
you
you
can't
can't.
micro, manage
You can't
everything.
micromanage because then this is what I mean. You're getting so focused on the little nitty gritty or well, that's not nitty gritty. That's literally hiring somebody. But you know what I mean? Like, as in you get focused on the things like that's not my strongest point.
Yeah.
So I could come in and say something that's not even relevant or, does not even a point, that kind of way.
You don't know what's actually even needed for that role. So what's the point?
No,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like you're better off having the people who know what they're doing and trusting them to be able to do it. There's a lot of trust in having your own business. You have to give over a lot of your power, which can be very hard at the beginning, especially because like that, it's my name attached to it. So it's like I've spent so many years building up my own personal brand, Keilidh MUA, and people trusting us at that point, and then trying to you have to teach people and bring them along and be like, this is what's really important to me, but have people who like understand what's important to me and really get that. That's the people that you need to have working for you.
Yeah. So is there any new ideas or anything new coming up in your life that you'd like to share? Or
I feel like there's so much, and like it's funny because I could sit here now and be like, I can't think of a single thing, and then I'll walk outside and be like, there's millions of things.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for me is the past year we really focused on retail with Cash. That was like a massive thing because we were
get into all the shops, like.
Yeah, because we were a lockdown brand. So we started during lockdown, which just doesn't even feel like a real time. When I think back now, I'm like, I don't even remember that. Like, it's just a blur. But we started during lockdown. So obviously everything was online. So a big thing for us then was getting into retail. It was a massive focus the past year, which I feel like we've done very well in the past year, and just getting so many more new customers who actually get to feel the products. So that's a big thing in makeup, right? Is like you want to be able to go in and feel and test, and how does this look on my skin tone and all this kind of stuff. So the next big thing I think is just keep expanding, keep coming out with killer products, hopefully that people love, and just keep building the brand. Just keep, like I said, creating products that make people feel confident, feel beautiful, keep building my team, bringing people along on this crazy journey. There's not one single thing I could pin it down to, but let's hope balance is the big thing in my year as well this year, 100%.
That's what I said this year. I'm going to like focus on me, on that and my own kind of health and mental well-being. Like, so like you get so zoned into your business that it's like I would always like I go into like a thing where I'm like consistent with the gym or consistent with exercise and other things, meditating and all that, and then it's so easy to like have so much stuff on your to-do list or whatever that you're kind of like, I don't have time for that, and then you get into like a cycle of that, and then your mental health goes to shit. And
but see, this is the thing then, because I would be like that too. I'm very all or nothing. I'd be like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be amazing at it. I'm going to start it tomorrow and that's it. I'm going to be blah, 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 and it never happens because I tried to take too big of a jump straight away. I was just seeing this thing where it was like, if you try to be like 1% better every day, sure, after like 10 days, that's like 10% better. And even if it's just taking little steps. So that's something I definitely have been trying to kind of like put into my life, integrate into my life a little bit more, instead of looking at something to be like, there's no point in me, because that's the thing, I'd be like, there's no point in me doing that because I can't do that properly. But instead of thinking I can't do that properly, it's like, well, let's start working towards it, as opposed to just being like, no, that's too far away. You know, little steps, baby steps every day can still make a difference.
Thanks so much for coming on, Keilidh. It was
Thank
lovely
you so much
to you.
for having me. This is a great
And
chat.
thanks for me little goodies.
Yeah,
Can't wait
of
to try
course.
them.
I can't wait to see mine as well. We basically just swap bags and swap the gifts. Yeah.
So I was going to say, if anyone's looking out to reach out or find you, where can they find you? But I'm pretty sure they know where.
Well,
But
like,
anyways,
they might not, but it's Keilidh MUA. So my name is spelled Arsewith, but you'll find me on there. I'm the
Irish version, is there? It's still Keilidh, is it?
actually, it's so Ailey is a Scottish Gaeilge. My mum is Scottish, so she just took the name Ailey and stuck a K in front of it, and that was it. And now everyone's been mispronouncing it ever since. And then the MUA actually means makeup artist. I didn't know that when I first started.
Did you not?
No, I didn't know when I first started, and I figured out what it meant. And I was like, this is genius. Of course, I'm going to put MUA at the end of my name. And now it's Keilidh MUA. That's what people call me.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're looking to reach out, make sure you follow us on Unlock Potential Podcast on Instagram and Demi's Nails and Beauty. See you next time.